I love how this was like a get ready with me, and then I got ready in like 3 minutes, that it's like, okay, so what else? But yeah, let's talk about Myca. Let's talk about my BF. Let's talk about healthy relationships. Let's talk about my past relationships that I never talked about.
Wave after wave, wave after wave, wave after wave, wave after wave.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff. But hey guys, welcome back. So there's a couple things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about actually. But today we're going to do my makeup because I'm supposed to be hanging out with childhood friends today. Ooh, goodness gracious, that tastes so bleak, but it's so good for you. No, it tastes really earthy. It's the thing from Starbucks. It has a lot of the green plants that I need in my diet, so I was like, I'll take one of those. Let me not put that in the sun though, because it will perish. So yeah, so we're just supposed to have like a hangout and you know, have a conversation like I'm gonna have with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started on this makeup. This foundation from Urban Decay, it's their new one, their Naked Skin line, and a little sample from Sephora. I did wash my face, by the way. So I'm dating, I'm in a relationship, and I love it. It's the most amazing relationship I've ever been in. I've been in previous relationships before this one. I never talked about it because I knew it wasn't serious. I'm just really in love. I'm really in love, and I feel very safe, and I am really into him, and he's really into me, and that's just, you know, it is what it is. So I'm dating. He's in the military. He's going into the military. He's at basic right now. And I'm kind of getting a feel for what it'd be like when he's deployed. I feel like when he's deployed though, we'll talk more. I don't know. I remember when my dad was deployed. I grew up military. I've said this I think in other videos, but I am military. I've grown up military. My dad's military, my granddad's military, so and my great granddad is military. So I'm used to military life, and I did not want to leave it. There might be a video on here, there might not, but I was planning on joining the military because I really did not want to part from them. I did post something on my Instagram about why I feel military in America or military and government are not the same. I don't put the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines in the same idea thought process as I do with like the Supreme Court, the foster care system. Those are very different issues to me to discuss, and I really do like the military. Do I like America? To be determined. I don't know. You tell me when they get their stuff together. Let's see, you know, what they're doing. I started watching The Handmaid's Tale today. Very intense stuff. I really hope our world does not go that way. So people, please, let's mind our P's and Q's, because ain't nobody trying to live in that life. Nobody. So yeah, so he's military. I love him. His name is Myca. I don't know if I'll leave that in there because I don't know how I feel about that yet. I do feel comfortable enough to talk about the relationship. And should I try this new concealer? What do you guys think? Should I try it? Try the Sephora one. Let's just try something. Let's just try it. It's like that. It's kind of light. It should do what it's supposed to do though. Anyway, so yeah, so it just kind of gives me a feel of like what it'd be like if he's deployed, because he's currently in basic. If you don't know military life, basic is just like a training camp that every branch has to go through. Army, Marines, Air Force, any branch in the military has to go through it. Ooh, that was a lot. Oops. This. I gotta blend that out. Anyway, every branch has to go through it, and it's basically just where they kind of weed out the weaklings, I guess. I did study on like what it takes to, you know, do well on like the ASVAB, which is like the test that you take, kind of like an ACT for college. Wow, don't worry, we're not done. Like an ACT for college, and I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it because it's really not like that, but kind of is. So yeah, basically we're in a really good spot. We talked on when he was boarding the planes and going to the camp and all that stuff. And then he called me once when he was actually there, but we haven't had like our timed conversation yet, which is exciting. I'm excited for it. I've been writing him letters. I sent him 2 letters already. He's been there for what, 2 days? But no, so far so good. I feel good about it. If you're asking, I'm trying to think how I don't know if I would recommend military life. I'm very used to military life. Military life is very normal for me. So it's my zone of understanding, I guess. So I don't know if I would recommend this. We are long distance. We started long distance as well. I've known him for the majority of my life. Our parents know each other. They've known each other for what, 10 years has it been? It's been like 10 years. So he's like a family friend, and when I was in other relationships, you know, we would just like update each other on like our families because, like I said, we do know each other. And then we started talking more seriously, and it was like, wait a minute. skirt, wait, maybe we should try this, because so far so good, you know. So yeah, so basically we were just talking on Snapchat like normal, nothing crazy. I know Snapchat is like the crazy place, but we really were just asking, like, you know, how our families are, how he's doing. He's a year older than me. Yeah, just stuff like that. And then I don't know, we just really hit it off. We have a really good friendship. We've had a good friendship for a minute. I'd say at least a year. We've had a solid friendship where we would check up on each other and comment on each other's stories and stuff like that. But I have been in other relationships with males, so our friendship could only get so close, you know. When we decided to start talking more seriously, things really just started to just take off. Like, it was very organic. It had an organic sis. It was a very organic process. Be all little tip. So this bottom lip is more pink than my top lip, so I just take the e.l.f. pencil. Have had this forever. It's in the shade Berry Sorbet, and I rub it in, and it gives my lips instantly more color, which I really like. Just, you know, we started talking, we hit it off. He asked me out. I went to go visit him. I went down to visit him. Down under. Just kidding, he's not Australian. Anyway, I went to visit him. I came back. I go to school in about a month. By the time I go to school, he'll already be in basic for a month, so that will be very like helpful to me, because there are still moments where like I wish like we could call, but there's this like space between us that feels really good. It feels very guided. Like, there's things that he's learning now without me, and I'm learning without him, and so when we come back together, it's like, you know, we can tell each other everything that we learned, and like, you know, the stuff we couldn't say. Really, I like my eyebrows the way they are, so I try not to do too much to them. Should I use some oil? I don't feel like I need it. I feel like I'm gonna get dewy enough because today's kind of hot. So if I'm really feeling it, I'll do mascara, but this is really it. It's very natural. It looks very simple. That's the thing. We're going for a simple beat, and that's really it. So yeah, super excited for him. I see him in 2 months for his graduation. I feel really good about that. I like the military, like I've said in the previous one. Any concerns? I feel like it's exciting to get the opportunity to grow up and try things and explore. Nothing crazy. I go to school in August the 14th, supposedly. I don't have my GI Bill set up. I don't have my transcripts sent in. I need to do that. I don't really feel like it, and I know that the opportunity will pass me by if I don't get it together. But I gave myself to the end of July to really focus, which would give me 2 weeks before I move into school. But I need time to be sad and sulk a little bit. Emotions are valid. Any emotion that you experience is valid. The way that you express those emotions and the way that you dwell in those emotions is where the issue usually comes. But as far as like having the feelings, that's not the issue. And I do feel kind of overwhelmed, not in like a scary type of way, just in a way that makes me want to not do anything, in a way that makes me feel exhausted and alone. I think going to college. Hopefully I find a really good friend. I haven't had a really good, oh my god, really good girlfriend ever. And like for a consistent amount of time. I have people that I know I can call, that I know are good company, but like somebody that like I click with, like that you see on like these new girl rom-com series. I don't know, do you guys want to know anything? I feel like my life isn't a show. Like I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm going to school, I'm dating, I'm going to my boyfriend's graduation, and I really like the way me and my boyfriend interact. I like the way that we get along and the way that we work off each other. We're really good friends, like I said. We just have a really cool friendship that I think would be interesting to show and share, maybe. But I just want to like give a preface that if we make a channel together, it is not gonna be like pranks and I cheated on my boyfriend prank. Like, it's not gonna be that. Those videos, no shade, but I really ain't got no time for that. But I just mean like it's not like something that where we're like pinned against each other. Something about that is weird to me. Y'all are weird. I don't know, I really like the way that we communicate, so I may like get topics for us to react to and talk about. I think we'd rather do like a podcast though than like on screen, and I really am feeling a podcast, so you may see a podcast from me finally, and I would be able to do that more consistent because I wouldn't have to like get pretty for the camera, you know. I could just pop on, and I'm really proud of him. I know he's having a rough time because that's what they do out there. That's what they do. I hope he made a friend, because I know that hard times are a lot easier when you have somebody that you can rely on. I ordered something off of online because I saw this hoodie. I really need a hoodie. I really do. And Myca said I could have his when we get together, but honestly, it just feels like so long. Like every night I go to bed, like I need a hoodie. Like it's gotten bad. It's what, day 3? Yeah, so like I bought a hoodie and it says self-love on it because I need that too. I need to remember that. I feel like I do have self-love. I'm okay with being alone mentally and physically more than Myca is. Myca needs alone time physically sometimes, but he's definitely a lot more like partnership oriented. And we said this in the beginning. I saw it. It's like, you actually care. Like you have a really big heart that's like normal, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't really want to be touched, which didn't even happen. Well, actually it happened once when we were at the pool and I was sitting down and I was like upset, and I was upset because I was starting my period, so my cramps were like terrible, and I guess I shouldn't have said that, but but basically I just didn't even want to be touched and I didn't want to be talked to because I was just like, he asked me to like hold his hand and I did, and it made everything like, it felt like it just like it just breezed away, which was really nice. But yeah, no, so he's definitely more like together. Yes, the party's here, not over there, which I love because I really want that, and I have that with him. So he like completely picks up on it, so it's like, it's really great. And he reads body language really well. He's very good at understanding signs. It's amazing. Truly, I'm shocked, period. But I hope he's okay, and I know he is, but I just don't want his heart to hurt because I know how much being apart affects him, and it affects me too. It just affects us in different ways. Like, he doesn't like being apart because he likes being around me, and I don't like being apart because I like being around him, duh. But it's more like he wants to be around me, and he makes, like, it physically makes him sad when he can't be, because it shows how much he really does enjoy being with me, and that makes me feel very secure, which in turn makes me feel very open and vulnerable to our relationship, which in turn makes him feel loved. So it's like, it's this beautiful cycle. So I was watching Shan Boodram. She's, oh my gosh, stop it, stop, let me be great, let me be great. She's a YouTuber here on YouTube, and she also is a sexologist. I really love how my generation is very comfortable discussing these types of topics because honestly, I think they need to be discussed. There's no such thing as sex ed. I don't think I even had sex ed offered to me in school, which is a huge deal. How are we not gonna invest in that? I don't know. But anyway, it was before she got married, I think a year or so ago. She was in open relationships. She was polyamorous, and yeah, she just talked about like how to be in a healthy relationship regardless of what type of relationship you're in, monogamous, polyamorous, open, da da da. Basically, she said that healthy relationships are an 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time is supposed to be harmony. It's supposed to be getting along. It's supposed to be in sync time, the laughing, the joy, the oh my gosh, those moments. Then 20% of the time is supposed to be the conflict, the healthy conflict. It should never go up and irate. Basically, that's the time for healthy growth in the relationship, you know, the disagreements and the hurt feelings, you know, and then the healing process, and then back to the 80%. So that's what it's supposed to look like. And it's so funny because a lot of people feel like that's a utopian mindset of a relationship. They're like 80% of the time, there's no way, right? And the fact is, it's possible. You just have to find a compatible match. You can't have an 80-20 relationship with somebody that you 50 to 60% of the time are yelling at, or feel uncomfortable with, or don't feel safe with, or don't feel emotionally respected even. And the relationship will cause a lot of negative energy as well. So my past relationship, I had one other serious relationship before Myca. And that relationship went on for about, we were friends. All the serious relationships I've had, two of them were like serious friendships that I would like consider friends, and other one was like friend kind of dating type thing. My experience and the type of person that I am, I like doing friendship first and then dating, because I just find that a lot of the conflict found in my other relationships where we weren't friends first, a lot of the conflict and stuff can be avoided with in a really positive way when there's a friendship first, because you guys can laugh at stuff, you guys have a similar sense of humor, you know, there's just a lot more camaraderie when you date somebody that you're friends with first. I've done the other way too, where you just meet somebody and then you guys kind of see if you're compatible, if you know, and then you guys date. I recommend at least trying a friendship first, and then like a serious friendship. And by that I mean like you're really not interested in pursuing anything else. Like your end goal really could just be being friends. That's what I consider a serious friendship. But again, tweak this to how you need, okay? You are different than me, I am different than you, so just make it to where it makes sense to you. So my last serious relationship, we were friends and dating for about 4 years. Which is a long time, and it was very toxic, but it was a very karmic relationship. And if you are into any type of spirituality, you know karma, dharma, right? Karma or karmic relationships are relationships that are very painful, but they're meant to happen, and that's what our relationship was. And I feel like anything that's painful is karma. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I felt like our relationship was in that 80-20 rule. It was definitely a 70-30. So 30% of the time it was just spot on, like high good times, and 70% of the time there was some form of conflict, some form of uncomfortability, some form of hurtful behavior towards each other. This was two people, okay? I take responsibility too, okay? The negative qualities within myself were just GMOized, genetically modified. They were a lot bigger in that relationship, because his bad qualities I would make a lot bigger, which is why I feel that it was a karmic relationship, because I learned so much about myself. I learned things that I didn't know I was capable of doing that I did. One of those being that I could stay committed to one person for 4 years, be like, what is it called? Be like positive. Think positively about them after the honeymoon phase, which is considered 2 years, I think, right? So that was like a big deal to me. I never wanted to be a part of a relationship that would stifle my individuality in a way that wasn't reasonable. So of course, when you partner up with somebody, there's going to be things that have to be compromised on. 20%, That's where like the shifts need to happen. That's the 20%, the uncomfortability, because when you're trying to live one life as two people, there's definitely going to be some shifts, and that's common. So, but 80% of the time you're supposed to have an 80% bank. So whenever those 20% times happen, you can pull on that 80. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so that was our relationship. We had like I said, we had a friendship, so we had a lot of jokes, and we enjoyed each other's company just as people. We cut it off mutually, I'd say. I would say I cut it off completely, and he cut it off in the beginning. So I feel like it was a mutual cutting, because we would be on again, off again. That was also our relationship, with about 70% of toxicity. Not just conflict, but conflict that escalated. There's just this cage that just won't let me be honest with him, because he'll get upset with me. And then the 20% is like, oh, like whenever we talk about the right topics, we have the best times, and we we had lots of jokes and insiders and good times, but bad times were bad. Year, I'd say the last year we started to get a lot more loose with our relationship on a whole, and so we started talking to other people, because we still had that friendship that kind of got perverted too. Not perverted in like a gross way, just like perverted, like it got tainted. The friendship that we had in the beginning was definitely not the friendship we ended with. I don't know, we just knew that it was time to let go, and it was hard because we both knew each other, and so we had this bond. We really did, and we really liked each other, but we just didn't work well together. So we called it off. We tried to stay with like streaks on Snapchat. That didn't work. I hated that. We stopped talking as much, and it just kind of slowly died, but it was really organic, and I'm not as disappointed. It was hard at the time. It was very hard, and I did not want it to end, because when you're in this, I don't want to use the word abuse, because it's not like he would be like, you dumb, it just was abusive. It was abusive situation, and it was just like that abusive cycle that goes through your head that's like, oh, it'll be better, like let's just try again. And anyway, in our karmic relationship, it was hard for me. I wanted it back. There would be periods that I'd be like, I definitely don't deserve this. I need better than this. And that all happened in 2017. Beginning of 2018, I just remember like getting a real need for God again, and are hard to understand what God was saying to me. That year of 2018, I just felt like this really need to be by God, and I was just like, you know what, Lord, I know you don't want me to be in a relationship like this. I know you don't want him to be in a relationship like this. We both believed in God. The longest reigning relationships, they all believed in Jesus, and they all were friends first. So those are common themes. Everybody else, I was experimenting. I just felt like I grew up with God. Like, on this channel, I've mentioned God many times. I put scriptures in the bottom, But I just felt like it was time to get serious, not only about my relationship with God, because I know what that feels like and to be in pace with God, but I had never taken the time to really ask God, does he have a partner for me? And I didn't want to be one of the people on YouTube talking about like, the wait is hard, and I wanted to focus on being happy and not focus on that I didn't have a relationship. And I also decided after that karmic relationship that it was more important for me to be in a healthy relationship than a relationship. And that was a big switch. That was something huge for me. That entire year, the majority of it, I'd say maybe till October, November even, I was reading sermons, I was reading books, I was going onto YouTube, and that's when I found Transformation Church. I did this series called Relationship Goals, and it was the first time that a Christian perspective on how God views relationship and how he moves within relationships was really broken down to a point where I could see. It was like eye level, like I was talking right to the source.
What's the last thing you did to add to the marriage? Did you go back and take a finance course so y'all money can be like plack, 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 plack? Did you figure out another language so when you go to France, you can be able to see if they serving you good food or not? Did you add anything to the relationship? Many people stop perfecting who God's created them to be because they joined with somebody else. And all I'm saying to you is, once we move this, God says, I had a plan for you before you were formed in your mother's womb, to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope and give you a future. I want you to keep working on your singleness. And then if your marriage is gonna last and be vibrant and have passion, I want you to keep intentionally dating. When's the last time you took your wife, your husband out on a date? Me and my wife have to plan that stuff. She said, babe, I'm 8 months pregnant. I said, you better drape something over that stomach, girl. You better drape something over that. And she know what that means to me, and I know what that means to her. Why? Because we're gonna intentionally date. We're gonna make time, and what that does is that keeps it fresh. Don't just be with your mate, chilling in the bed, watching movies. What happened to the pursuit? What happened to the thing that you, when you couldn't have her, you was chasing her, but now you hearing like, hey. And that's what we have to do. So keep going through the process. And I just want you to keep going on. You should be having engagement.
They live in Oklahoma. This is so cool. You guys will love this. So they're church-based. They only have one church. It's in Oklahoma, Tulsa. And I journaled. I have this, I don't know where it is, but it looks kind of like this, but it's a lot thicker. And it was a journal. And every Sunday I came in, I wrote about it, I prayed, I put prayers in there. And as I kept moving forward in the walk and relationship with Christ of like what my relationship is supposed to look like, you know, and how is it supposed to feel? I've never even felt the right and a healthy relationship. I've never even felt what that feels like. So please give me, Lord, the feeling of when I know that I'm in a healthy relationship, because I don't even know what that feels like. Yeah. Anyway, so I did that for a year. Transformation Church. I watched a bunch of churches, but Transformation was the main sermons that I watched. As we know, you know, God really does want the best for us, and he holds no good thing from us when he knows that we can handle it. And you know, just like a parent would, he's not gonna give you a brand new shiny car when you don't even have a license, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was really amazing, and I felt I had so much peace watching not only that series but like a bunch of other series. And I didn't just watch things pertaining to relationships, I also watched things on individuality. So there was this series that they did, Wait Till I Get My Money Right, and I was like, oh yeah, stewardship, like let me watch that so I can know how to manage finances, you know what I'm saying? And just a lot of inner work that entire year. And I took a break from all relationships. The thing, I think I even wrote it in the journal, but what I said was, if this God thing, okay, they say that there's a relationship for you in Christ that's not going to be boring and not going to be Bible thumping, there's somebody exactly for me. God knows exactly how he made me. He is not confused, okay? That's it. So that year was really good. It was a hard year though, because I felt like I was doing a lot of internal work, and obviously when you are used to doing things in a certain way and acting a certain way and doing things, you know, at the core I still am who I am, but there was definitely things that I was using to cope, definitely things that I needed to let go. And even though God loves me where I am, you know, he wants me to progress. There's greater days ahead. So I did all that for an entire year. Tulsa, Oklahoma church. Fast forward, mind my business. Myca and I were on Snapchat. I got back on Snapchat. I didn't like do my side hustles anymore, but I did, you know, like post videos and stuff. Anyway, I got back on Snapchat. That's where we used to talk. We had a friendship for at least a year and a half, maybe at that point. He would just check up on me and my family and ask how I'm doing. And when I was gonna join the military, he was the first person that I told, and I was like, baby, we'll end up at the same base. Girl, yeah. Anyway, turns out he lives in Oklahoma. And I was like, wait, Oklahoma, I remember this. Who lives in Oklahoma? The Transformation Church. Exactly. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that he fell in my lap so organically that it was nothing but Jesus. Because the minute that my journal hit a 1 year mark is when Myca came into my life, seriously. And so we were friends in March, and then by April we were dating, and then I took a trip to see him in June, late May, early June, and yeah, that was awesome. I feel really good. The feelings, all the prayers that I prayed, I went back into that journal a few months ago and just, you know, looked back over some of the things that I was asking God, some of the prayers that I said, and Myca is that prayer. It's just crazy because when you really trust God with your whole heart and you really basically have no other option and you're serious about your healing, he comes through so thoroughly. Like, he leaves nothing to the thought of like, maybe this isn't him, maybe this just happened. I know it was him because I read back over those prayers and it's like, I did not know not one person who matched that prayer. I was bold, okay? I was bold because one of the sermons that I watched by Transformation Church was saying to be bold with God, be humble, but be bold. Ask him the things that you want. Ask him your real desires. Be honest, be transparent. And so I was bold. I was like, you know what, fine. If we're out here making wish lists, shoot, I know exactly what I want. I know what I need and what I want. And if I get to ask it as simple as that, then I'm gonna ask it. And ask it, I'm gonna ask it. I asked for somebody to be emotionally mature, somebody to be okay with their emotions, so that way I can learn from them and understand, you know, in a healthy way how to be okay with my own emotions. And I was doing that work before I met Myca, but now that I have like a person that is really comfortable in who he is, it makes me very comfortable in who I am, and he accepts who I am and I accept who he is. So it's just this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful union. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful. It's been a long time coming, but really it hasn't. Like, I sacrificed, what, a year? And the sacrifice wasn't even that much of a sacrifice because I was doing the work. You know what I mean? So to me, it was worth it. I went all in though. Like, there was no excuses, and there was days that I had to hold myself accountable when I wanted to reach back into that 70-30 relationship and just be like, you know what, screw it. Like, most people, this is what most people's relationships look like. This is how most people feel about their spouses or even their intimate partners. You know, most people are very unhappy in the relationships that they're in. It's gonna fail anyway. All these myths that we tell ourselves to be okay with the relationships that we're in, that we know we're better than. And the thing that snapped me out of it was, I'm not most people. I deserve more than what is average. I deserve a better marriage than average. I deserve somebody to love and to cherish. That's what I deserve. Point blank, period. I'm a daughter of the king. He delighted in me. He laid eyes on me. He delighted in me. That's what it says. That's what it says. That's the God that I know. That's the God that I serve. And I know that he feels joy when he thinks of me. So why would I belittle myself? I didn't recognize in Myca what I recognize in myself now, is that he is relationship oriented, but so am I. I just cover it up and he's open about it, which was like such a crazy thing to realize, because it was like, wow, like, you're honest. You're honest about like being with people, and he's okay with that, and he just lets that be that. Like, it's the most beautiful thing. Like, honestly, yeah. Love that man. And I'm not saying that like, oh, you do this work, you know, and we know that obviously, like, it's gonna be different for everybody, and because every journey is not the same, and that's beautiful. God has something special for you. God has something special for me. God has something special for everybody that we know. And when we get on track with the path and the plan that he really does have for us, a lot of the time we talk about trial and tribulation, right? That's what we know the Christian church for. But listen, the God that I know wants to give abundance and prosperity and joy and love and equality even. The girls that are like me, the girls that are ambitious, and the girls that are independent by nature, but the girls that are also scared of real commitment and what it feels like to be truly loved, not just by another person, but by ourselves, to love ourselves enough to hold other people around us and our environment to the standard that we hold ourselves to. If we're gonna love ourselves truly, like how, you know, it's a social norm now to give ourselves self-love, then we really need to hold the people around us in our environment to that same standard. I can't say I love myself and go to a relationship that makes me feel terrible. You know what I mean? That's not real love to me. And I love myself more than that. And I know a lot of girls out there feel that way, and so I thought I would share my story because I just want the ghetto girls, maybe the black girls, the loud girls, the funny girls, independent, the smart girls. All I'm saying is the girls that specifically know that they are just a little too much, that you're actually not a little too much at all. God's made somebody exactly for you, and that of course there's gonna be fine-tuning. You know, there's things about my personality that I've had to fine-tune, but on the whole, God knows exactly who I am, and when I live authentically, I have peace. We have magic. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps somebody. I hope maybe it's a testament to somebody that's really going through it. That's what I call divine union.